Hey, everybody, welcome to What's Up Wednesday. This week, I want to talk a little bit about the topic of criticism. Now, when I say the word criticism, I think in most humans it elicits a natural response, um, kind of in the form of or from the perspective of a negative connotation. And what I mean by that is that when we think of criticism, we often associate that with something negative. And that's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I think is there are a couple different types of criticism. So maybe it'd be first to start with that one. When we look at criticism, I think that there are two different types. The first one is maybe it has ill intent. Maybe it'd be too far to stretch to say that it's malicious, but it is a unwanted feedback coming from somebody who you're not asking for feedback from. I think oftentimes that criticism or feedback, and I like to use the word feedback better than criticism, but it often comes from somebody who is maybe closer to us, friends, family, extended family, etc. And then the other type of feedback or criticism would be something that we might get in a personal or professional environment, such as in sports and at work. And I think that very oftentimes, again, we associate criticism, constructive criticism, feedback, whatever you want to call it, with negativity and somebody potentially attacking us, something we said, something we did, the way that we behaved. And it's really easy to immediately respond in a defensive manner and to kind of put up our fences and immediately react in a manner that we maybe can't control. And I would challenge everybody to really think about it and be curious about it. And when you get into a situation where somebody does to come offer that feedback, think about it this way. They're doing it because they care about you. That's the number one thing. If it's somebody who you know doesn't care about you, then it's that other kind of criticism or feedback that you have to deal with that the way you see fit. But when it comes to a more constructive form of feedback or criticism, I think it's really critical to be curious, to listen, to observe what the other person is saying, to ask clarifying questions. Because if we utilize this tool, it can really help us to grow. And I don't know about everybody else out there, but I find it very difficult to stand back and observe how I'm saying something and how I'm behaving when I'm interacting with somebody. I just don't have the ability to gain that perspective other than observing their verbal and nonverbal feedback to me. So I find that I'll ask questions of them if I get the feeling that maybe I'm saying something or doing something that's offending somebody. But I think that being the receiver or on the receiving end of that criticism, it's so important to ask questions and clarify and I guess accept that criticism as it's coming in with curiosity and really absorbing it and trying to understand what they're saying, and then taking some time afterwards to really reflect on it and identify how you can use that really valuable information to improve yourself. I think that people who do that are incredibly self-aware, and they're also the people that we turn to and look to as leaders. So put that into perspective. Criticism is not always welcome. It doesn't always have positive intention, but the majority of the time it does, and it can be the greatest tool we have for self-improvement. So think on that one, and we will see you next Wednesday.